Hi guys, welcome to Redfox Security. At Redfox Security, here we provide end-to-end penetration testing services across various domains such as red teaming, web application pen testing, iOS, Android, the works. We also have courses at academy.redfoxsec.com. You should check it out. They are 70% practical, 30% theory, trained by official professionals who are working in the field, and it's amazing courses. You should check it out. So today's topic is Flipper Zero. Let me first introduce myself. Hi, I'm Shaan. I'm a security consultant at here Redfox Security, and today we'll be working with bad USBs and ducky scripts and Flipper Zero. So I'll be demonstrating that on the Flipper Zero today, just to get you guys started. Bad USB ducky scripts or even a Flipper Zero can do the same thing as what a basic bad USB can. So a bad USB is a pen drive looking like a thing, and it has script in it. You can program it according to whatever you want. So hackers can program scripts inside, and they can keep that USB, let's just say, in offices they can just keep it as is, keeping a mentality like somebody's gonna pick it up and put it in their computer to see what's in it. So that curiosity generally rises, and that's the exploit. Once you plug it in, it'll exploit the computer. You can do various things with it. It acts like a keyboard or a human interface device. So basically, whenever you plug anything into your computer, first of all, be careful while plugging in, because these are the kind of attacks we rely on. We use them and they do work. So basic bad USB is, you plug it in, it makes the computer think that it is a keyboard or a mouse, and it acts as if it's a keyboard or a mouse, and then simulates what a user might do with a keyboard or a mouse, like typing things in, moving the mouse around, all those actions. Generally it has, like, basically it can do whatever you want with a computer. Once it's plugged in, it takes seconds to run the entire script. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration of what a ducky script looks like. Ducky script is a language that you use to program these bad USBs. It is not very difficult. It is quite simple, quite intuitive, I would say. So moving on to my screen, I'll just quickly show you guys what a ducky script looks like. Let me just zoom in. So this is a basic script that I have written. It gives you a reverse shell, but for just starting things off from the top, it has a delay of 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, and after that it presses Windows plus R. So generally what you would do on a keyboard, like I am pressing right now Windows and R, see this dialog box shows up, that. So there are lots of things you can basically you can do whatever a keyboard could do, whatever you could do with a keyboard, you could program to do this bad USB to do. So here what I have done is, I have taken a delay of 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. Then I have pressed Windows plus R. After that, I've waited another second just for it to load. It takes a while. Okay, so we press it and then it loads. So after that, I have said that I want to write a string. You start anything with a string, that is basically a keyboard typing it in. So a string. Then I want to write PowerShell, that's why I've written PowerShell. Then I want to press the button Control Shift and then Enter. So Control Shift Enter, you may know it is a shortcut to run any program as administrator. So I have programmed that in here. So after that, it also again waits another second. Then it press Alt plus Y. Alt plus Y basically will press yes whenever it gives you a pop-up, like I'll just give you a demonstration right now. I'll just press Windows button, I'll go PowerShell. Okay, now if I press Control Shift Enter, see if it gives me a pop-up. So I want to choose yes here. For that, I have used Alt plus Y. Instead of just, see, if I press Alt, it says yes and no, which is Y and N. So I've just pressed Alt and Y. So I press yes. That's why it opens up. That's how the program goes. Going further, it types in a PowerShell EP bypass, which is just execution policy bypass, and then it continues the script on there. So basically what I wanted to give you guys with this script is, I just wanted to give you an idea on how Ducky script works. It is like a programming language, but it is not very difficult to understand. Like delay 1000 milliseconds is very easy to understand. All you want to do is press buttons, and you do shift control. Everything is quite similar. You can get blogs on it. You can get a lot of online resources that provide how to write Ducky script. It is not difficult. So that's how you program a bad USB. In this specific example, we'll be using a flipper 0 as the bad USB. So moving on, I'll just give you a quick look on how the flipper 0 looks like. So this is how a flipper 0 looks like. If you can see, there are lots of things you can do with a flipper 0. Today we'll be focusing on the bad USB side of things. So going to bad USB, one second, where is it? Yeah, bad USB. I press in it. Okay, so there are all of these demos already programmed. So this is actually a custom firmware for the flipper 0, but even the stock firmware has a lot of pre-programmed bad USB functions built in it. Like one of them, just for demonstration, I'll just run it right now. There's one that rickrolls you. So that's kind of funny. One second. So this is basic rickroll, if you can read it. Basic rickroll. One second, I'll just mirror it to my PC so you can see it better. Yeah. So you see, basic rickroll. This is a function that is what I'll be running right now, just to demonstrate how this works. Okay. So I'll just press on it. Okay, so it's going to disconnect from the PC because it's going to reconnect as the bad USB. Now if you can see the flipper 0 screen, see, once I press enter, it runs. Okay, and then check out my screen. Look what happens. Okay, I'll just press the button. Okay, 3 2 and then pressing the button. See, it recrolls. Basically what it did was it opened up the same PowerShell thing. I'll do it once again, just for demonstration purposes. I'll do it once again. Okay, just check out. See, I'm going to press it. Okay, and moving on to my screen just first. Okay, and once again, let me just close this window so it is on a basic thing on here. Okay, I'll just press it now. Automatically opens Chrome, it automatically opens the video, and it directly starts playing. That's what a Ducky script can do. Basically, it is like having access to a computer, and you can do whatever you want once you have an access to a computer with a keyboard and a mouse. Basically, you can type commands in, you can do whatever you want, except the only bottleneck becomes is that people might see you doing that, and they will, be flagged. Okay, what are you doing? Let's say you're doing a physical pen test. In that, you will not be able to be at a computer screen for a long time. You will be able to get there, let's say if you get a few seconds of a time just to plug things in or doing something like that. That will be much more preferable in reference to you sitting there typing commands in, and people will be watching you. That's why this is a technique that hackers use to get access to sensitive files or shells or anything that they might be looking out for. So let's say you go into an office and you find a person who has left their computer open just to get a cup of coffee or something. So you go there, you just talk to the colleague or something who is sitting right beside the computer which is open, and while talking, just slip the drive in, and it does its thing. By the time you are just talking to the guy who is sitting right beside it, you will be getting the access of the entire computer within that span of time. So yeah, Ducky script is quite useful. It is very nifty, but just only thing is that you need to understand how to program it. You need to realize that yes, there might be delays. You need to foresee situations like that. Like the reason, moving on to my screen, I'll just get back there. The reason I've said delays in my script over here is because I'm anticipating the system to take some amount of time to open up, let's say, a window, or run a specific command or type out the string itself. Like here, when I press window plus R, see, it takes at least like half a second for the window to pop up, right? Now, because Ducky script works basically like a human interface device, just imagine you being able to type 1,000 words a minute or a second, and it will just go like that. So that's the reason why you will be, if you are typing at that speed, you will be typing the entire sentence before the dialog box appears when you want to type it in, right? Now when you plug a ducky script in, it doesn't have logic that to realize that yes, the dialog box hasn't appeared yet, or the terminal hasn't opened yet, just to wait for a second. It doesn't know that. It will run the command as is. That's why you need to understand the fact that yes, you might have to add delays, you might have to anticipate situations which might end up like when you open up anything with administrative access like PowerShell. Okay, you opening up PowerShell, it opens up normally, right? Now if I open up the same thing with admin privileges, which I will do with control shift and enter, one second now. So yeah, if I do control shift and enter here, it pops up this window. If I don't anticipate all of this and I just program it in assuming that it will work, then it will not work. That's why one thing you need to realize once you are building any kind of a ducky script or something, you will have to program in delays, you will have to anticipate things like that. So yeah, that's one caveat of a ducky script. It doesn't really know what it is doing. It is, you just tell it to do things and it will do it no matter what the situation is at the computer. So yeah, that's one thing to look out for. Apart from that, it is a perfect thing to just take with you on a physical pen test. It's a fantastic tool. You just go there, if you see any open ports, you just plug it in and hope for the best. That's what you do. If you programmed it well, it will work out. Like here in this specific example, like the Rickroll demo, that was just a demo. This is a script that I have written. It is not very complex. It has an MZ bypass and it has a reverse shell payload, a very basic reverse shell payload. This is not even going to evade defender. So for this instance, I have disabled defender just for the example purposes, and I'll be running that. So let's just do one thing. So this is my script. I'll just save the script. Okay, just saving the script, and I will just upload it to my Flipper 0. One second. So here I want to upload it. Okay, so here it is, duckyscript.txt. Okay, I'm just gonna close this for now. And since this is a reverse shell, I will need to start a listener on the other end. So for that, I'm going to use netcat. So here my netcat is stored in the desktop directory. So I'll just go there and I'll start a listener with netcat on port 8080 because I've programmed the code to send a reverse shell at the port 8080. Okay, it's listening now. I'm just going to minimize this. Let's just assume this is an attacker and the attacker has this thing set up, a listener setup. Okay, and this is a normal computer. Okay, now this is an office computer. Let's say I've gone somewhere and you want to actually use this as an attack. You just this is for educational purposes only, by the way. You just go into your Flipper 0. Okay, showing the Flipper 0 now. You go into the bad USB section, going into RCS because I've saved it there, ducky script, as you can see. So once I just go there and I okay, so now you can focus on the screen. The screen, basically this is a normal computer. Okay, all I do is I plug the thing in and I just press a button. Now it is, see, run, and at 3 2 1 it runs. You see, as you can see, it opens a PowerShell, bypasses the execution policy, runs an MZ bypass, and then runs my payload. Boom. You see, that's the victim side of things. That is what the victim computer is going to look like when you execute this specific payload. Now towards the attacker side of things, as we were listening on port 8080, you see, we've gotten a connection. Now this is from our old computer because it's a demo, but generally it would have seemed like a connection has been made from a different computer. Okay, so let's just press enter and I'm just gonna run who am I. You see, I'm this user. But if you can see, before I was not a user which has admin privilege. I did have that, but I just one second. So yeah, I was in user desktop and now I am in Windows System 32. That's my current directory. You see, PWT, Windows System 32. That means I've gotten a reverse shell from the computer that I plugged in the USB device into, which for this instance is my own computer. So yeah, that's how a bad USB would work for a reverse shell scenario. So yeah, that's the demonstration for today. I hope you guys liked it. I appreciate you guys staying on for the end of the video. I would really appreciate if you guys like the video, comment, subscribe, share, share it to your friends, share it to enthusiasts in cybersecurity, whoever you might think is really interested in learning things like that, nifty things that you will use in cybersecurity.